This is it. This is the final episode of In Vogue the 90s, episode 6. Let's get into it. If you didn't already know, In Vogue the 90s is a documentary on Hulu talking about all things Vogue and the 90s. It's so nostalgic. There are 6 episodes and I've recapped every episode with the video on here. They're all in my playlist on my page. This episode was actually quite interesting because it was talking about how British Vogue was so different from American Vogue, and people sought out British Vogue just because it was so different and the fashion just seemed so much more unattainable. So Anna Wintour had her work cut out for her when she took over American Vogue because she had to really show that Americans had style. When you think about American style and fashion, you think of none other than Calvin Klein. Calvin Klein was just known for very clean, very just minimal aesthetic. His favorite color was white. He just thought white looked so crisp, so clean all the time. He was already kind of rebranding with the whole CK ads, which were so iconic in the 90s, but he said, I want to push it a step further, and he created CK1, the first unisex perfume. In the 90s, everybody had this. Everybody, including myself. It was one of my favorites. In fact, I'm thinking of rebuying just because I loved it so much. Calvin Klein has just always been that name. Even Clueless has the most iconic Calvin Klein line. If you know, you know. Another designer also leaving his mark on American fashion is none other than Ralph Lauren. What a lot of people don't know is that Ralph Lauren is actually from the Bronx, and he grew up in a very just ordinary middle-class working home. His focus was definitely Americana and lifestyle, and I mean, he really wanted his fashion to equate with the American dream. And in New York, there was a group called the Lowlifes, which is L-O taken from polo, because they also were wearing polo and they were in love with it. They made polo a name, and I'm talking like on the street style as well as in the high-end fashion. So Ralph Lauren was everywhere. He was reaching people with money, and he was also reaching people that didn't have as much money. Enter Tyson Beckford, who at the time was just living a very rough lifestyle. His brother had just passed away, and he decided that he was going to do something with his life. He started going on auditions, and he auditioned for Ralph Lauren. You cannot think about the 90s without thinking of Tyson Beckford. I mean, this man was modeling everywhere. He ended up becoming the face of Ralph Lauren's brand, which was so incredible. Another iconic moment for Tyson Beckford is when him and Naomi Campbell herself, they actually did a whole campaign. And at the time, Naomi Campbell said she was only doing runway. So when she got a campaign, it was a really big deal. Another big designer at the time recreating the American dream was Donna Karan. And her biggest client at the time was Hillary Clinton. They had just won the election, so she was the first lady, and she had a whole new wardrobe sent by Donna Karan herself. Donna Karan ended up designing this dress for her to wear. It's the cold shoulder dress, and she made all of the front pages the next day. I mean, this look is just, it's just so good. Like Donna Karan in the 90s is just so good. Tom Ford also came back, you know, even though he was living in Italy at the time and working for Gucci, he wanted to bring it kind of to America as well. And he created this line that was very sexy, very risque. And the line actually finished with a series of white dresses that had these little peekaboo cutouts with, you know, a thong or G-string sticking out. I mean, this was such a big deal then. And at the time, Toni Braxton, who was huge, was wearing one of the Tom Ford dresses in her video. Remember this? This was such a moment. Fashion in the 90s is unmatched. If you loved this series, you need to go watch the actual documentary on Hulu. Let me know what you thought. Let's chat in the comments.